Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. Thanks for joining me once again. Today, I am going to dive on in and take a first look and page through Dune Adventures in the Imperium Masters of Dune from Modiphius Entertainment. It's written by Andrew Peregrine, Simon Berman, Jonathan Breeze, Jason Durrell, Keith Garrett, Hilary Sklar, Devinder Athera, Jared Twing, and Rachel J. Wilkinson, with artwork provided by David Benzal. And I apologize if I butchered any of those names. This 176 page hardcover is available now, carries an MSRP of $52, which will include the PDF if you order from Modiphius or any of their brick and mortar partners. Or if you just want to get the PDF alone, you can grab that over at DriveThruRPG for $25. All that said, let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Masters of Dune. A few things I do want to mention before we jump on in. First of all, the fine folks over at Modiphius Entertainment were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. These days, it's very important that you know that. We're also not going to look at each and every page of Masters of Dune, but I do want to give you a good feel for what's in this campaign book. And lastly, this is a campaign book. This is an adventure book. So if you are a player hoping your game master is going to run Masters of Dune, I would definitely recommend tune out now because even though I know nothing about what's in this book, we're probably going to encounter some spoilers as I flip through. And you don't want the surprises of the campaign ruined simply because you are checking out this first look video. Now, having said that, you probably want to let your game master know about this video so they can get a peek into Masters of Dune. All right, so let's take a look at the back here. The battle for Arrakis begins. Your house has claimed the wealth of Arrakis, but can they hold on to that power when so many want to take it from them? You've already uncovered a deadly enemy, but plenty more covet what you have worked so hard to control. You're going to need allies. But who can you trust? The mysterious Bene Gesserit? The elusive Spacing Guild? Or perhaps even the Emperor himself? But each faction has their own agenda, and a knife in the shadows lies behind every smile. Continuing the alternate what if scenario begun in Agents of Dune, the stakes become higher as deadly enemies seek the downfall of your house to claim Arrakis and the power of spice for themselves. Player characters must leave the desert world of Arrakis and travel across the Imperium to get the support they need to fight their enemies. As each section of the campaign can be done in any order, it is very much up to the players to decide on the best plan of action and lead their house into glory or destruction. I have to say, I was kind of surprised that Masters of Dune was not a box set like Agents of Dune, because Agents of Dune had pre gen characters with these really nice dossiers, which even included a bit of a player aid on the back to help newbies to the 2D20 system. We had various different cards featuring the pre-gens and NPCs and equipment. We had the adventure book, which provided you with the rules in order to run Agents of Dune, although you weren't able to create characters or create your own house. That's located in the core rule book. But everything you needed to get started with Dune Adventures in the Imperium was in Agents of Dune. And I thought we would get another box set with more cards and stuff like that. But we didn't, which is okay. Like I said, I was just a little surprised. So let's jump on in. And I will tell you right off the bat, nice paper stock. This should hold up pretty nicely. Although you can see that there is a bit of a sheen. I know there are a good number of folks out there who don't like the treatment that some role playing game pages get. But the reality is, as long as we don't have a lot of dark pages, the glare isn't that bad. So, a breakdown of what's going on. So, what is this book? The fate of the player character's house is about to be determined on the sands of Arrakis. In this campaign, the player characters take the place of House Atreides and gain dominion over the planet Arrakis, mining the spice for the Imperium. While there is potential for great power and profit, 1,000 enemies are ready to plunge their knives into House's collective back at the slightest misstep. Will they prevail and earn glory and influence, or is this the final chapter in the history of their house? So, an aspect of Agents of Dune, which is very cool, is that it is a what if scenario. And it's what if your house replaced House Atreides? And there's a lot going on with that too, because the big bad's House Harkonnen probably has a different relationship with your house, or in this case, the House Nagara, if I remember correctly, as far as the house that's provided in Agents of Dune. You might be allied with the Harkonnens, or maybe you just have a neutral relationship. Certainly not uh, serious enemies like the House Atreides and House Harkonnen would be in the movies and the novels. But telling you that the relationship will change in Agents of Dune. Staying away from spoilers. I will actually toss a card up if you want to check out my review for the Agents of Dune box set because I really liked it quite a lot. So here's our first chapter. Three agents of House Nagara. Oh, see, I was right. It is House Nagara. Are lost investigating Fremen raids. But sometime later, one of them is found alive and well in the hands of the Harkonnens. She remembers nothing of the investigation, although the Harkonnens are happy to return her. The player characters would be right to worry what the Harkonnens might have done to her. Investigations turn up nothing, but this may only make the player characters more suspicious. After all, the Harkonnens are cunning and would not make such manipulations obvious. So we've got Act One. I think each chapter is probably going to be broken up into three acts. So we've got a curious favor, and it looks as if we have some read aloud as part of maybe an interrogation. So depending on the lines of inquiry. So this is an example of a stat block for an NPC. I'll move that over so you can see it a little better. Get my mug out of the way. So it's just this section here. So Dune Adventures in the Imperium is built upon Modiphius Entertainment's 2D20 system. And these are dice that actually came in Agents of Dune. And I will say that depending on the IP or setting, we have some tweaks to the 2D20 system. And I find Dune Adventures in the Imperium and Star Trek Adventures tends to be a bit more lightweight mechanically than other 2D20 games from Modiphius Entertainment, say like Fallout, the role playing game. So this is not as crunchy a system as people think. For some strange reason, I've heard some people talk about how the 2D20 system is relatively complex. Not necessarily, especially with Dune and Star Trek Adventures. So we've got Act 3 Into the Passage. Next, we have Chapter 2, Giddy Prime. Isn't that the homeworld of the Harkonnens? In this chapter, the player characters make allies of convenience in House Vernius and travel to the Harkonnen homeworld, there you go, of Giddy Prime in an effort to uncover the machinations of House Harkonnen and possibly find legal basis for declaration of Conley. As the plot progresses, the player characters may learn that their supposed allies are, well, we're gonna just move along there. Try to stay away from spoilers, right? So it looks like there might be some combat as dinner entertainment. Like the artwork so far. Rebel assassins, a secret mission. Next up, the Emperor. House Nagara travels to Catane to give their first report on Arrakis to the Chelm board of directors and the Emperor. Regular in-person meetings are infrequent, but Shaddam, I should say, the fourth, uses the recent change in Arrakis governorship to strong arm the directors into arriving in person. So we get a bit of a prelude. Some more stat blocks for NPCs. The princess, for some reason, I think that's the princess who marries Paul Atreides in the stories. I might be wrong. So there may be, multiple princesses. So I should point out, if you're not familiar with Dune Adventures in the Imperium, it is a scene-based role-playing game. So it is not real sandboxy, and it is very plot driven. Now, having said that, there is still plenty of player agency taking place. Yes, it is relatively linear. Now, granted, we saw that most of these chapters can be approached in any order, but within the chapters with these acts, yeah, they're pretty linear. So keep that in mind. I don't necessarily care that much, having run Call of Cthulhu for over 4 decades. Railroads can be fun as long as you make sure that there is player agency. But having plots, having story beats, I think is very important. So let's see. Then we have the Fremen. So we've got meeting the Fremen. This adventure consists of 3 acts which can run in any order, can run as a single unit or interspersed with other adventures or episodes from other adventures in this book or from elsewhere. The main thrust of this chapter is about how the player characters interact with the Fremen and whether they can persuade the wary Fremen of Sietch Korba to trust them. Life in the Sietch. I think that's how it's pronounced. Seem to recall that. If a player character is Fremen or has strong connections, this has advantages and disadvantages. On one hand, such a player character knows Fremen ways and can advise on how to act, what to do, and what not to do, and what to say. At the same time, the Fremen of Sietch Korba are suspicious. What is the Fremen doing keeping company with off worlders, even seeming to serve as one of their house? Well, interesting. This is looking pretty cool. Now, of course, I would take a guess this is probably going to be far heavier into political machinations and solving mysteries than out and out combat. So, this might be a little bit light on action. So, I'm kind of curious how that might be tackled. So, here we've got The Great Houses, Chapter 6. The player characters must make their way to Catane and deal with a challenge to their claim on Arrakis. Well, well. That must be what the vote of no confidence happens to be. Did I just skip a new chapter? I think so. Maybe not. No, that is the great houses. I will mention that the fine folks over at Modiphius Entertainment have sent me quite a few Dune Adventures in the Imperium releases. In fact, I think it's everything that's out in print right now. So stay tuned. I've got more coverage on the horizon. So we've got the Bene Gesserits. The player characters in their house are about to be tested by the Bene Gesserit. The Sisterhood wants to know more about this new house and understand how it might react to the politics of the Imperium. For the Bene Gesserit, the best way to know something is to see what actions it takes when put under pressure. That was weird. I don't know. Just didn't seem like that sentence was structured properly. I guess it is. I guess it was. Some more of the NPCs. The party and rewards and consequences. Okay. Then we got the Spacing Guild. This chapter presents an opportunity for the player characters to interact directly with the Spacing Guild. Of importance to the guild is the availability of the spice, and any disruption to their supply concerns them greatly. So we get unexpected allies. Hunting the pirates. So we got some mercenaries involved here. Yeah, there you go. Tracking the mercenaries. And the mercenary base. Then the finale, the Crucible. With House Nagara granted control over spice production on Arrakis at the beginning of Agents of Dune and cementing it at the end of that campaign, the player characters have suffered much and had to endure mightily to make it this far. All right. I'm curious if this campaign is going to continue or if this is the finale. So we'll find out. We're almost at the end. Well, that's pretty cool. Okay, so it says, and thus Masters of Dune comes to a close, hinting at further adventures to come. So I guess there will be more adventures. I don't know if it'll be an entire campaign book, but nice, very cool. I am really looking forward to diving on into this and providing a review because, as I mentioned, I really did dig Agents of Dune quite a lot. Once again, this 176-page hardcover is available now. Carries an MSRP of $52, which will include the PDF if you order from Modiphius or one of their affiliated brick and mortar stores. Or if you want to just grab the PDF alone, you can do so over at DriveThruRPG for $25. Alrighty, that is it for this time out. As I mentioned, I will have a review of Dune Adventures in the Imperium, Masters of Dune, in the very near future. So if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell because it'll not only let you know when I upload videos such as this first look, I'll also let you know when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you will not find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Thanks a bunch for watching, and until I see you next time, here's hoping each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.
Oh, hey, you're still here. That's okay. You don't have to leave just yet. In fact, why don't you subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel right here, or take a peek at the latest live stream, or even find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks again for watching.